previously on Talk That Talk.
Okay, so to answer your question directly, no. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I'm gonna take it back to your undergraduate time for the student teaching process. First and foremost, the student teaching process is flawed. And the reason why it's flawed, I said this a few episodes ago, you're walking into a program that number one has to be approved by your department that is adequate. That's number one. So you're walking into a program that already has systems built. You're walking into a program where 9 out of 10 is a seasoned teacher. You're walking into a program where everything is basically laid out for you as what you want to have, right? But no one is teaching you the realistic, giving you a realistic expectation of what you're walking into. 9 out of 10, and I have to say this, if you don't come from a PWI, most of the times, I don't want to be ignorant and say all, but most of the times you're going to honestly receive a job from a school that's possibly either low income for the most part, possibly a turnover rate or whatever the case may be. And you're going to have to build that program. If you have not been taught how to build that program, honestly, you're going to have so much growing pains to where your expectation isn't going to be met as a music educator. And what I mean by that is you graduate, a lot of the times you're like, I want this big old band, I want this, and I want to do this specific things. Well, what if they had 7 band directors in 4 years? What if you don't have administration support? What if you don't have community support? What if you don't have a feeder program? What if you don't even have a budget? All of those things, for the most part, is what you're going to run into. Again, not all, but most, right? And honestly, through this season, I don't want to stay on the negative like Rick says, but a lot of the times, you're going to run into that. So if your mindset is not on building, then honestly, it's going to be an arduous job. So that's number one. Number two, we need classes that teach realistic expectations on politics, because that's something that you're going to have to deal with as well as being a teacher. Also, if your pedagogy is not strong, most people, again, it goes back to don't know how to build. As a percussionist, I had to real talk, put the sticks down and pick up a horn so that I can learn how to teach a child from scratch. And most times people are arrogant and they don't want to do that either. So, in my opinion, the realistic aspects of teaching, the realistic aspects of building a school, man, we don't know about that. We don't. Honestly, most times when you walk out and you graduate, you don't even have a curriculum that you use. All of those things, bro, is what, honestly, in my opinion, when I've spoken to other HBCU grads, it's like that's why we talk to each other. Hey, you got this lesson plan, you got this lesson plan, and we're trying to help each other. And that's why, because we're not prepared once we walk through those doors to graduation. And that's just the snippet of it.
All right. Rick.
My answer is going to be yes and no, right? I think yes from these standpoints. First of all, HBCUs are more nurturing to their students. They just are. We teach our students the importance of relationships. And I think that's important with being a effective leader and band director. So from that standpoint, we get a lot of that at HBCUs. Teachers that were willing to bend over backwards to make sure we had what we wanted. Like I don't want this, to just be, you know, all the things that we can improve on, right? Like our teachers are usually great at that. I think they are from the standpoint of music is music. It don't matter what type of band you marched in. It don't matter what school you went to. Like I always say, and I'm gonna keep saying, a concert of in tune is a concert of no matter where you are. It doesn't have a color. It doesn't have a style. It is what it is. So from that standpoint, I think our students have an opportunity that students from those PWIs do not, because I can go into a PWI and teach music. Music is music, but they can't come to an HBCU and do what we do. Yeah, it's challenging to do core style. It is, especially to do it with great technique. But if you learn that, you are marketable, in my opinion, above a lot of those students. Here's where we face a challenge. It depends on what school you go to. Sorry, here we go, ruffling feathers off top. Depends on what school you go to. If your school is teaching you the importance of good musicianship, playing in tune, articulations, actually, coming in together and stopping together, all those things that are just music fundamentals, regardless of what type of style you choose to do. If your school is teaching you that, you will be a successful band director because you have a standard that's been set and you are marketable. If the only thing your school focuses on is marching band, you need to go have a talk with your administration. The fact of the matter is, if your school is only known for the marching band, all you do is marching band, you are not ready to go out here and be a band director. I know it's hard for some of us to hear the truth. The fact of the matter is, when I left my university, I was not prepared to do my job at a high level.